All right, everybody. Elegoo was nice enough to send us a donation of an Elegoo Mars printer. And this is the SLA printer we had in our SLA intro and how-to video. So we are going to open this up and see what we've got. And we should be able to get up and running with this and actually start a print in about 5 minutes. So let's first throw that out. So Elegoo does pack these up very well. I have seen the inside of these. We'll take a look as we get this going. It's packed very securely, and as a matter of fact, this is a great box to hold on to if you have your own. Keep this as a transport box. My son and I go back and forth between locations, and we move it around, and it is a very good box to transport it back and forth in. So, as we can see, it is packed very nicely. We've got a box up top, the whole body of the printer down here. They gave us the bright silver version. They do have a couple of different versions. My Mini Factory has it in green. The Amazon one has it in silver, or the red one that we showed on our video. So again, that's it. And we've got the base unit. As we talked about in our other videos, that orange at the top is a UV shielding to keep the light out. So we want to make sure that that stays in good tact, doesn't get scratched up. It's not real easy to do that, so I'm not too worried about it, but just as a note for everybody out there. And again, you can see everything they do is packed very well. This even has a whole layer of shrink wrap over all of the plastic to keep it in good shape and shipment. As far as reuse of this, I haven't found any need for it. Just keep a good eye on it. There are a couple of videos that we'll have later on of little add-ons for this, and somebody printed a really nice handle for the top of this. Allows you to pick it up and off of the unit very, very easily. So we'll show that one in a later video. This is the print bed that we were talking about. Remember we said everybody get an extra print bed. That way you'll have one when you're ready to do your prints. You'll be able to just go, put your print bed on and go print. If somebody's is on there, you just take it off, put it over in their locker, take their tray, put that in the locker, and they're all set to go. This comes in place, but we're gonna take this off because I think there's a clear sheet underneath here as well. This is the tray, and it has the film already installed on it for us. You can probably see it if I go back and forth. There is a covering on here that we're gonna take off, but I'm gonna wait on that. It also comes with a nice tool kit. And, oh, I think they've upgraded their tool kit. This is really nice. So, in here, they give us a nice metal scraper, our power cord, our adapter, a little container for putting the resin in. I haven't actually used this yet. It's nice to have around. The USB drive for putting your prints onto, some gloves when you're handling the resin. These are your wrenches, which you're going to use to tighten up the unit. Also, those wrenches are used for the nuts on the bottom of here to install new film when that film goes bad. Another hex wrench. Again, I don't remember seeing that in the last package. So this is a great part. We haven't figured out what this one's for yet, but we'll let you know when we figure it out. They do give you a nice set of diagonal cutters. They're a fairly narrow tip on them. When we talked in our intro video, we talked about the wide tip and the narrow tip. This is a fairly nice narrow tip of set of diagonal cutters, so they're very handy. A plastic spatula to get things up. This is good for getting little bits of stuff off of the film itself, so you don't scratch the film. You still want to be really careful, even with the plastic one. They also give you 2 N95 masks, which are worth their weight in gold these days. So hold on to the. Oh, sorry, there's 3. You're going to make your money back on the printer just selling your N95 masks to somebody. It also comes with a bunch of filters. Filters, as we said, those we use to filter out the resin when we take it out of the tank. That gets rid of all the little bits and pieces that maybe got hard while we were printing, that didn't adhere to the film. And when you pour that resin back into your bottle, you want to put it through that filter. If you also remember, we told you to get a silicone collapsible funnel because these don't fit in the bottle very well. And none of the filters that they sell like this fit in there. So that funnel fits into the bottle real nicely, holds it in there, and then you can drain all that into there through the filter. So we've got this all ready. Now we're going to apply power. Now, Elegoo was nice enough to also send us a bottle of resin. They sent us their standard photopolymer resin. This is the quick version of the resin. There's also an ABS-like. What's also nice in the resins, and you want to hold on to these, Elegoo ships them with a little paintbrush. It's great for getting out all the little leftover resin when you're done. Getting all that out of your detail spots. So you want to hold on to that and keep that. This is also packed up pretty well. So we'll get that all out. And this one, they shipped us a ceramic gray. Did also send us a translucent. We'll try that in another video that we're going to do later and see how that comes out. But right now, let's get this plugged in and let's get our first print started. So. I've got a little area set up over here. One of the things that I noticed that they do not send and is important in the setup of this is a leveling piece of paper. In some of the, I think in the Saturn printer, they send a little leveling card. They do not send that in the Mars, so you just need to cut your own, especially since regular 8.5 inch by 11 paper doesn't fit in there. So I got one already cut to go in there to do the leveling. So we've got this plastic off, so we're not like our auntie with the plastic on the sofa. And we'll get ourselves powered up. The first thing we want to do on this is do the leveling. As we talked about in our other video, it's a very simple leveling process. We're just going to raise the bed up. He said. We're going to put this on here. We are going to loosen both of our nuts on here. You can hear that click as it goes down. As long as that's moving freely, we can take our piece of paper, we can set that in there, and we can hit the auto adjust button and it will come down. We also talked in our other video, and I'm going to mention it again, is making sure that this is relatively square to the platform. If it's a little bit too crooked, you're going to hit the edges of your tray as you come down in. So you got that level, it's right where it needs to be. We're going to tighten this back up. Tighten that one, tighten this one. That one, and we'll bring that back up. Pull that out of there. We have our tray, and I'm going to pull this one off the back. I'm going to pull this one off the back. So just so you know what I'm finding, there's a little teeny tab here. The sticker didn't pull it off, so I found that little teeny tab on there. We'll pull that off. The inside does not have a cover on it. I'm going to put this notch at the back, and we talked about using that to determine how much material we have in there, and that there's a notch on the back. We're going to fill up our resin right to that area. And do remember to shake the resin well before you use it. If you don't do that, you're going to end up with some bad prints. I'm going to pour the resin in, and we're up just to that notch. I'm going to leave it right there. That's plenty, and as we've done before, you can do quite a few prints before that is ready to be replaced. I'm going to take the USB drive, we're going to stick it in the back. We did talk about the space. We will have an extra cable coming out so that you can get to it from the front. Go back here to the main menu. And they do have some models in here already, but I'm going to pick the Rook, which is all ready for printing. There are 2 Rooks on here. We are ready to print. I'm going to put this cover on. You notice I do have some sun coming from back here, so after I get this started, I'm probably going to put a piece of cardboard back here to keep the sun from coming in here. Yeah, this is going to protect it, but I just want to be careful. Anytime you've got sun coming in, do that. I hit print, and the bed is starting to go down in there, and we'll watch for the first layer to go on. Even though we shook that, there were bubbles in the resin. You'll see the bubbles when you put that in there. In the amount of time it took me to just do that little bit of a process, all the bubbles are already floating to the top and popping, so we won't have any problems with having any bubbles in there. Plus it's pressing it all the way down pretty hard to that surface, you know, 1/10 of a millimeter, so it's a very thin layer. The bubbles are not going to make a difference. And I'm just watching. The first couple of layers are always a little bit longer. That's to make sure that you adhere those initial layers to the film and give you a good base, sort of like doing a slow layer on a FDM printer. You know, you're going to slowly put it down and put a couple of layers on there before you start going faster on the upper layers. Same thing with this. Your first couple of layers are generally 60 seconds. The Elegoo has a pretty high power light in there, so it does. It is a little bit shorter than some of the other printers. I've seen some of the other printers be a little bit longer. And you probably can't see, but you can see the 2 circles on the display are the bottoms of the Rooks. And these are just going to be a Rook with a twist in it and a stairway going up the middle of it. It's a pretty nice little demo. All right, our first layer has printed, and so you can see by the video time just about how long that took. And that is all it takes to get an Elegoo Mars printer out of the box and up and printing your first print.
And so it took 13 minutes, and that was a little bit longer than the 5 minutes that I had said, but still pretty good for getting it out of the box, all set up, resin in it, Z'd up, and printing right away. And it's a very good printer. The Elegoo is very solid. We're going to go over to the front panel now and take a look and see how our print came out. You see here on the display, we're taking a look. It took about 4 hours and 20 minutes to print that print. We'll take the cover off, and we can see the Rooks that are in there. And you can see inside the curl inside very clearly. We did make a little neat handle for this. We didn't 3D print it, but a nice piece of duct tape worked very nicely, held very solidly. And we figured out what that little black plastic piece was for. If you just screw that in here into your base plate, you can lift it up and hang it from the support here, and all the goo will drip off while your resin will come off. And you can decide, is that a good or a bad idea? Thank you very much. We appreciate you taking a look at the unboxing video we did for the Elegoo Mars. We want to thank very much the Elegoo company for donating this wonderful device to our makerspace, Makersmiths members will have a great time with some new projects. We have the cosplay group that's looking to get hold of it and do some ideas for their masks and costumes. And we've got the jewelry people who are interested in doing it for some very fine detail. And we've got the D&D group looking to do all their minifigures. So thank you again, and everybody have a great day.